Bill Maher is the Dr. Fauci of the woke mind virus. For more than 2 decades, Maher's HBO laboratory, Real-Time, sponsored the gain-of-function research that led to the nationwide outbreak of the woke mindset and its primary variant, critical race theory. While building a brand as the most virtuous Barack Obama supporting white liberal in America, Maher hosted panel discussions featuring all the properly credentialed racial, climate, and feminist scientists elite academia produced. Maher's lab thumbed its nose at the working class, preferring multimillionaire Michael Moore's perspective on people living check to check. When Donald Trump rose to power, speaking directly to and for the very people Maher and elites ignored, the liberal comedian told his audience to wear a MAGA-canceling mask and watch MSNBC's Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes as a vaccine and booster. Bill Maher created the religion of woke. It's disconcerting watching him disavow and distance himself from the virus his lab leaked with countless batshit conversations. This past Friday, Maher interviewed billionaire serial entrepreneur Elon Musk on Real-Time. The gist of their exchange dealt with the now obvious danger of the woke mind virus. Maher, the creator of it, has spent much of the last 2 years positioning himself as a woke whistleblower. He relentlessly attacks the woke without ever addressing his lab's role in spreading the virus. Bill Maher's Friday show highlighted a level of cognitive dissonance that is well beneath his intellect. It's quite similar to the cognitive dissonance displayed by Fauci and others when they continue to promote Big Pharma's experimental medical trials, aka vaccines. Let me be clear. I like Bill Maher. I've watched his HBO show for years. I appreciate that he criticizes the woke. I'm just disappointed he won't discuss the root cause of wokeness. Elon Musk gave Maher every opportunity to address the root cause when, at the behest of Maher, Musk defined the woke mind virus. Take a listen.
And you have talked about this woke mind virus.
Yes.
In really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. So, another way to almost synonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously, people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
every week.
Yeah.
So Musk, the new owner of Twitter, explained that Americans must be vigilant in their protection of free speech, especially speech we don't like. Okay, so let's think this through. What is Donald Trump's primary sin? Publicly stating things people find inappropriate or do not want to hear. Trump's oral and written behavior justified banning him from all social media platforms. That's a woke mindset. The woke desperately try to control what people think and say. They're quicker to forgive violent criminal behavior than a thought crime. Maher's Trump derangement made him an ally and supporter of the enemies of the First Amendment. So a little later in the interview, Musk told a story about a friend's high school daughter who knew next to nothing about the accomplishments of George Washington. All she knew about the first president is that he owned slaves. Let's listen.
I mean, yeah. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to college go to high school in the Bay Area, and and he was asking them, like, well, so who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right. Exactly.
Nothing.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you should know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the woke mind virus. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, slavery is obviously a horrific institution, but we should still know more about George Washington than that.
And by the way, one that was practiced all over the world forever, since the beginning of time, by every race, including people of color. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's huge in the Bible.
Absolutely. So
Bible loves it.
Really? Yes, they're quite strict about, like, don't take someone else's slave and that kind of thing.
Right, but no one ever says just don't do it.
They don't. At no point does it say slavery is bad in the Bible.
No.
So that indoctrination that Musk is talking about, those same indoctrination tactics are played out across corporate media. Donald Trump has been reduced to his irreverent and inappropriate tweets. Like George Washington, Trump has been reduced to his bad behavior. There's virtually no discussion of Trump's policies and what they produce or intended to produce. I like Trump because of his America First agenda, a pledge and a set of policies designed to bring manufacturing jobs back to America. My parents were check-to-check union factory workers. When I hear the slogan, "Make America Great Again," that's what I think of and desire. Juxtapose that to President Joe Biden. At least publicly, he is relatively well behaved. He doesn't say or tweet mean things. That's all nice and good. But I'm frustrated with what his policies and agenda produce. Biden's obsession with racial, gender, and sexual identity produces an attack on free speech and a merit-based work culture. So let me connect those dots. Biden's policies produce an attack on free speech and a merit-based culture. What did Elon Musk say was the primary dangers of the woke mind virus? He said it produces things that are anti-meritocratic and suppress free speech. The woke mind virus attacks the meritocracy and attacks free speech. We have a president who is putting policies and agenda in place that attack free speech and have AOC and all these other Democrats promoting censorship and the limitations of free speech. Democrats are the leaders, naming vice presidents, press secretaries, Supreme Court justices, secretaries of transportation, and assistant secretaries of health based on race, sexual orientation, and gender ideology. Kamala Harris, Karine Jean-Pierre, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Pete Buttigieg, and Rachel Levine. They didn't earn their positions. They were installed to make a statement about how virtuous Biden and Democrats are. This is all narcissism that far exceeds Donald Trump's narcissism. The American agenda takes a back seat to Biden's reputation and the Democratic Party brand. Connect the dots a little further. The woke mind is narcissistic. It prioritizes itself above country. Maher can see it in Trump. Maher can't see it in himself or apparently leftists. Maher should watch his Friday show. In his opening monologue, he cracked a joke about Joe Biden's intention to run for president again in 2024. Here's what Maher said. Elections are all about getting your base excited. Biden made the announcement in drag, wearing a mask and drinking a Bud Light. In case that went over anybody's head, Bill Maher just argued that Biden's base is drag queens, COVID mask-wearing clowns, and Dylan Mulvaney, the transgender man, actor, 26 years old, who Biden embraced, who Bud Light is putting on beer cans and did a deal with. That's who Bill Maher is saying is Biden's base. Transgenders, mask-wearing clowns, and drag queens. That's the base. That's who he's catering his policies and agenda for. And you wonder why the MAGA movement won't go away? They're being ignored. Still, to this day. And Trump is the only one out there willing to put his balls on the line and speak for them, the working class. And I'm sorry that stupid black people don't realize Trump is out there actually speaking for you. You've gone for the hype. Oh, his bad behavior. Look how mean he is in tweets. Look at the stupid things he says. You're so caught up in behavior that you can't see the policies. Let me connect the dots even further. Let me take it back to Musk's point about George Washington. Yes, he owned slaves, but that's not his policies. That Declaration of Independence that Thomas Jefferson wrote, that Constitution that we wrote, those amendments, the Bill of Rights that we wrote, they were all policies that led to the ending of slavery. Those were all policies that made America the most fairest place on earth, the envy of the world, the safest, most prosperous, most opportunity-filled space on the planet for black people. You don't have to like what I'm saying. And you can believe the clowns at the New York Times. You can believe Hannah Nicole Jones or Nicole Hannah Jones or whatever that African-American red priestess, liberal feminist clown says, the 1619 Project. You can buy all of that stupid stuff if you want to be retarded. But the facts are that Washington's policies and the founding of this country produced documents and a point of view and a goal and an idea that led to all the freedoms that we enjoy today. Or you can reduce him to his bad behavior, a reflection of the times he lived in. And so this people hear, oh, Whitlock's just caping up for Donald Trump. I'm caping up for common sense. And people and men being men and not getting caught up in the emotion and, oh my God, he tweeted this, he said this. It's hard for me to ever get anybody to engage in a conversation about, well, what about the policies? Are there some policies that Trump produced that hurt us, that hurt you? And my friends predominantly happen to be heterosexual and black. And so I'm speaking specifically to them. What are the policies? Damn what Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes and Don Lemon told you about what he said or tweeted. What are the policies and what did they produce? And then I want you to compare them to the policies and the agenda and what Biden is producing. A country, a nation that bends over backwards for drag queens, transgenders, and mask-wearing, COVID-fearing clowns. Are you one of them? Because that's who the base is. Bill Maher just cracked a joke about it because he knows it's true. This stuff is so crystal clear and so obvious. The kind of delusion you have to be in, the kind of coward you have to be to not see, to not have the vision to judge anybody or any movement by the results that they produce. Now, maybe you're someone that's happy as hell that Kamala Harris slept her way to the vice presidency. Maybe Mayor Pete and his husband and them pretending to have babies, maybe that floats your boat and he's a great Secretary of Transportation. Maybe Rachel Levine running around pretending he's a woman and pretending he's some kind of admiral. Maybe that floats your boat. Maybe Karine Jean-Pierre, I'm the first queer press secretary, and we're having Queer Visibility Day here at the White House. Maybe that floats your boat. But it don't do nothing for me, and it really doesn't do anything for you, unless you're a transgender, you're a mask-wearing, afraid of COVID clown, or you're a drag queen and part of that alphabet mafia. You should run out and support Biden. If you're not, you should perhaps reconsider and quit worrying about someone's bad behavior. Worry about your own bad behavior. Because trust me, there's plenty of it. Just because don't nobody know, trust me, you know and God knows that you got your own bad behavior to clean up. You can reduce any man. You know what? All Jason Whitlock ever accomplished on this earth was eating, overeating, and hanging out in strip clubs. You can reduce me to that, and you can ignore what I actually have done in this earthly realm. The jobs that I have created for people, the opportunities I've created for people, the accomplishments I have in writing. You can throw all that out the window. You know what? Write my obituary. Whitlock ate at McDonald's and he hung out at Diamond Joe's strip clubs in Kansas City. That's me. And we can reduce you to your bad behavior. From Bill Clinton to Barack Obama, I really don't care about their behavior. They're just men, flawed, weak, controlled by their flesh. What are their policies? What's their agenda? What are they trying to do? And so Bill Maher can sit around and again, I like Bill Maher, but damn it, be honest. He created this madness. He participated in this madness. He justified the Trump derangement that is nothing but a variant or root cause part of the woke mind virus. And he should cop to it and get real with himself. I wish that he was man enough to let somebody come on that show and have a real conversation with him. But he's not. He's like most people in corporate media. He does what his overlords tell him, and he avoids conflict and anyone questioning anything that comes out of his mouth. So the MAGA movement, whether you like it or not, it's the vaccine for woke. Bill Maher and the rest of the elite establishment, and that is Democrats and Republicans, they're the real anti-vaxxers. They're the uniparty. They hate the working class or anyone willing to challenge their authority.